Зі мною Корольова Олена, яка розкаже нам, яку тему ми почуємо з англійської мови для 7 класу. Пані Олено, вітаю вас.
Howdy.
Ну, окей.
Howdy is hello in Australian slang. So it's not like how are you doing? It's howdy, hello.
Ну, я вже знаю просто за темою, що я вже готую відповіді.
Good day.
Що?
Good day. Hello.
Okay. Я до попередньо класично англійської не звикла. Ви мені...
And today we'll talk about Australia. So, okay, Eugenia.
Так.
I'll ask you a question and you say yes or no, true or false.
Окей.
Okay?
Це мені підходить.
Okay. So in Australia, you can buy crocodile meat in the supermarket.
True.
Yes, that's right. Can you imagine? You can go to the supermarket in Australia and buy crocodile meat.
Я бачила кіно, там, де такий крокодайлер, і там він
Big crocodile.
Там не його купували, то він був нормальний такий покупець.
Another question. You can have a barbecue with your friends and you can eat kangaroo meat.
True?
Yes, it's true. So in Australia, they eat kangaroo meat, they eat crocodile meat, and it's a very interesting country.
А коко міт у них є? Ну,
Chicken,
так?
chicken meat. Yes, of course.
Я думаю, що вони
Different
просто
kinds of
їдять
meat.
все, що не їдять всі останні люди.
Yes, okay. If you want to know some more interesting facts about Australia, I'll tell you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's begin. So, guys, hello and welcome. You know me. I'm Olena Korolova from school number 47, and today I'll tell you about Australia. So, Australia, or as the rest of the world calls it, the land down under. Why is it so? Because if you look at the map, Australia is down below, and it's like there. So they call it the land down under. As usually, I ask your question. Why do you need this topic? Of course, as an educated person, you need to know a lot of facts about geography, not only English, but about geography, about history, about wild nature. And this topic is right for you because you can learn something new and you can speak about it in English. So just look at this beautiful photo. It is the photo of Australian city. I believe it's Sydney. Yes, that's right, because you can see this opera house here. So yes, immediately you understand that this is Sydney. Okay, so why I want to tell you about Australia, how I personally know about Australia and what I personally know about Australia. So I'm gonna tell you. In 2017, I took part, together with my students, as you can see, we took part in a competition. That was the project organized by Go Global organization. They organized summer camps, English summer camps for children. Not only English, they also have French and German language. And the camp is called Go Camp. And if you win this competition, you can have a volunteer who can come to your school and you can organize a summer camp together. So in 2017, we were very lucky because we won in this competition. And 2 volunteers came from Australia to our city, and we had a camp together. So this volunteer, her name is Jenna, she went to school number 15, and here her fiancé, her partner John, he was present in our school number 47. So here on this photo, you can see some of my students, you can see me, here is my daughter, and we are holding Go Camp flag together because we were going outside. We were in the drama theater square together with our volunteers from Australia. So we learned a lot of information from them. Here you can see how we welcomed them when they first came to our city. So this is John and this is Jenna. And these are some school children from school number 15 and school number 47, greeting them. So we had a lot of amazing activities together with them. Of course, we had 3 weeks summer camp together with John. We had a lot of sports, a lot of activities. John plays Australian football, so he taught us how to do that. And here on these photos, you can see my school principal, Nina Vorobey, and she is together with John in our school museum. And they learned some interesting facts about Ukrainian history. We also visited Кам'яні Могили together with John and Jenna, and so that was an amazing trip for us. They learned something about Ukrainian nature as well. So I'll tell you some of the facts. I learned them from the internet, of course, and John presented me this book. By the way, I want to say a big hello to John and Jenna, because yes, these are the people thanks to whom I learned a lot about Australia. And John's final present for me was this marvelous book with a lot of photos, a lot of pictures from Australia. So I use it in my lessons. So these are just some facts about Australia. The name of the country is Commonwealth of Australia. The government is democracy, but I'll tell you about the government a little bit later. The population, you can see the data from 2019 was 25 million people. And urban population means that people living in the country, not in the village, is about 90%. Capital of Australia is Canberra, and you can see the population. It's not very big. It's like we have this population in Mariupol, even more. And the official language is English. You can see right here, you can see the flag of Australia, Australian flag. I'll tell you about the flag a little bit later. So, of course, I've already told you where Australia is situated. It is a country in the southern hemisphere and belongs to Oceania. So sometimes they call Australia Oceania. It is the smallest continent of the 7 continents. And Australia is an island continent surrounded by the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So here you can see Australia on the map. And the states. The country is divided into six states. So they have Southern Australia, let's find it here, it's here. They have Western Australia is here. New South Wales, it's here. They have Queensland, which is green over here, Victoria and Tasmania. So here is Victoria and here is Tasmania. By the way, my friend Jenna is from Tasmania. And they have 2 self-governing territories. So in total, they have 6 states and 2 territories. They have Northern Territory and Australian Capital Territory, which is around Canberra, the capital city. And here you can see where Canberra is situated. So the capital is over there. So again, you already know how the flag looks like, what the flag looks like. I'll put my book here. Okay. But I want to tell you some more details and facts about it. So this is the Australian flag. You can see right here that they have the flag of the UK. They have a 7-pointed star for 7 states in Australia, 5 states and 2 territories, and they have the Southern Cross, and it's over here. And who's the head of the state? It's a surprising fact, because Australia's head of the state is the Queen of Australia, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. So she's the head of state in Australia. How about the languages? I've already told you that the official language in Australia is English, but Greek is the 7th most commonly spoken English in Australia. After English, Mandarin, Arabic, Cantonese, Vietnamese, and Italian. And on this picture, you can see children of Greek origin, probably. Their parents or grandparents were Greek, and they are holding Australian flags because they live in Australia. But this is a surprising fact that Greek actually is the 7th most commonly spoken language in Australia, not only English. So, of course, when you think of Australia, you immediately think of some wild animals. And what animals are symbols of Australia? I bet you know that. Of course, that is the kangaroo, that is platypus, and it's a very unique and surprising animal. And here we have koala. So these animals are symbols. And why is the Great Barrier Reef so famous? So if you watched Finding Nemo or Finding Dory, you might remember like those images because it looks like a cartoon. The Great Barrier Reef in Eastern Australia is the biggest coral reef in the world. And the reef consists of more than 3,000 reefs in which live more than 350 species of corals and over 1,500 species of fish. So it's a unique structure. As another interesting question to ask and to answer is there any snow in Australia? When you think of Australia, you imagine hot desert, you imagine the ocean, but is there any snow in Australia? Actually, it is a very surprising fact because those mountains are called Australian Alps. And actually, there is far more snow than in actual Alps in Europe. Isn't that amazing? So while many people visit Australia for its brilliant beaches and year-round sunshine, the Australian Alps, straight in New South Wales and Victoria, are a mecca for skiing enthusiasts. So if you like skiing, you can go to Australia and have some skiing lessons there. So where do people live in Australia? We've discussed the territories and states with you, but that isn't all. The large deserts of Central Australia mean that the vast majority of the population live on the shores of this enormous island country. The large cities are Perth, Sydney and Melbourne are great places to visit. So it's a surprising fact that the majority of population lives around the coastline. So if you imagine the map of Australia, you can imagine where people live because the center is, these are deserts, it's very hot there and people can't really live there. So, and what's the capital of Australia? We already mentioned that the capital city of Australia is Canberra, is also the country's only major city that is not situated in the coast. Canberra was established only in 1913 and was completely planned with a chessboard-type town structure. This is, I believe, the Parliament or the City Council of Canberra. So, what other famous cities are there? Of course, when you think of Australia, you think of Sydney Opera House. So Sydney is Australia's biggest city. It lies on the eastern coast and is the country's most populous city, so the majority of people live there. In 2000, Sydney was the host city of the Millennium Olympic Games. Sydney's most famous sites are the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House with its iconic architecture, which looks like a sail, a boat with a sail. So what other famous cities are there? Melbourne, which you can see on the photo, is located in southern eastern Australia. This is a cosmopolitan city and there are many street-side coffee shops and little boutiques. So if you like shopping, if you like visiting places like that, you can totally visit Melbourne in Australia. So what else can I see there when going to Australia? So we already mentioned different animals, different wildlife. We already mentioned the Great Barrier Reef, some of the magnificent cities. But a very unique site to see in Australia is Ayers Rock or Uluru, as the Aborigines call this massive rock formation, and it is in the center of Australia. So there are no mountains anywhere near this rock, but surprisingly this rock is there and Aborigines worship it. It's a sacred place for them. And of course, as usual, I suggest that you can learn more by doing some interesting quizzes. You can go here on this website, you can scan this QR code, and you can take the quiz about Australia. So let's give it a go. Let's see how it works, because I took it yesterday. It was okay. But let's see. I'm not sure that you can see like it's on a bigger slide. Is it like a big picture, a big image? But let's see. Let's give it a go. Because it's an interesting thing to do when you learn something and you can check your knowledge, whether you know it or not. Okay, hold on. Come on. So, okay, it needs. Okay. You can do it later because, yes, we have some technical errors here. Okay, so for your home task, you can go to Karpuk textbook. You can open it on page 162 and you can do exercise 1 there because you can find some more information about Australia. So that was it for today. Thank you very much for your attention. Stay healthy, wash your hands properly, and when the quarantine is over, you can travel all over the world or all over Ukraine.